Hello everyone, this is Sebastian, aka PokerVIP for PokerVIP, and this month I will be back with another video series on Guts Poker. I have already talked plenty about the specifics about the site on my other parts. If you want to have more information about Guts Poker microgaming in general, check out my old videos. Today we're going to mainly focus on Strat. As a little side note, these videos are coming out a bit later than usual this month because I broke my shoulder and I had to get surgery. And as you can see here now, I'm wearing a whatever the name for that thing is to hold my arm. So I'm playing one-armed, like a one-armed bandit. That's the actual translation for the thing in English. But you can definitely grind while having only one arm available, especially while playing reg tables. It's not really that big of an issue. Give me a second while I adjust the cam size a bit, else it's gonna trigger my OCD. That seems more proper. Okay, gonna obviously see right here, gonna actually size up decently because I think he's quite inelastic. With the hands he calls big bets, and with the hands he folds anyways. For the most part, there are some exceptions to the rule, but generally that's the case. Ace queen, top right, easy open, obviously. If we face a 3-bet, we're gonna reevaluate our hand and maybe call the bluff, call or fold. Kind of depends on sizing and so on. Currently it's 9 PM in Europe, so pretty much prime time for microgaming. Should be quite sweet. Games should be rather soft. The ace 5, bottom left. Gonna see what happens. The ace queen, gotta walk. Not the most interesting of results. Easy fold to this pretty big isolate. The queen jack suited will probably see a flop. The jack 4 off in the top left will see the muck. Well, I guess if someone limps, we're gonna take a note that he's a weaker player and we're gonna check and hope to flop quads. We can't 3-bet the queen jack suited here. We could code forward. It's really loose. Without reads, without hard stats. Without it, I mean, if I had like seen him do this a lot, I might do it, but queen jack is just a bit too much out of line there. I guess that's super outrageous, but it's pretty out of line. If I had ace jack suited there, I would have called forward in a heartbeat. Ace 10 suited, ace queen off suited. Could overlimp to queen 3. Would probably start overlimping queen 5 suited plus. Queen 3 is like not gonna be a terrible overlimp there though. Can definitely complete there a lot. Definitely not isolating there out of position though. Yeah. Someone jamming it in for 3x pot here. Think this was like some weird limp isolate 3-bets. Call. Not sure. So now he's tanking with what? What's tanking here? If you have jacks plus, you snap this off. Okay. He's a fish. So what? Are you tanking with like ace king high? I mean, if you have like queen jack of diamonds, you fold. It's kind of easy. Right. Yeah. Okay, the ace 10 suited. Gonna open the jack 8 offsuit. Actually, the ace 10 is not suited, but let's just imagine it was suited because that would make the hand so much more beautiful. Get a flat and a button. Generally not a good sign. Generally decently not ahead of his range. Overflatting ranges they are generally pretty strong. And we're out of position. We're gonna usually lose money out of position. And 3-ways on this flop. I'm not even gonna fake tank, I'm gonna check fold, and yeah. There's just no part of me that wants to compete here. Okay. Potentially winning a showdown, potentially bluffing on some rivers, potentially rivering a pair. Okay, if he snap checks, I'm gonna overbet this river. I don't think anyone has anything. If he bets, I would bet like $2 here if he would have checked. I also exploitively don't think anyone has a hand that calls $2, so I would do it. While if I do a medium-sized bet, I do think that could get called. And yes, the button can have pocket 8s or like 9-8, which can call an overbet, but that should be a rather small part of range, so I won't think too much about that. I think generally when the blind checks there, they are like super capped and we can just totally exploit overbet there. But once he leads for pots, I'm not gonna bluff raise. That would be quite the spew play. 4-10, top right, easy fold, ace queen. Pretty happy spot to see a limp there. As usual, this part will be like 35 to 40 minutes long. I think I'm gonna make this part a bit longer. Just because it feels like a while since I made the last part. So the thing is here, the hand doesn't play perfectly multi-way. We're obviously not going to fold, but I don't really see a big reason to 3-bet this hand now, because T has already a relatively strong range, I would say. Not necessarily, I guess. But the main issue is we want to flatten and let the weaker player come along as well, and play a multi-way pot with the weaker player. Pretty good spot. Could potentially even lead flop, but that's like kind of stupid because the button has every combo of ace king. But in the sense that we do want to get money in versus the... Yeah. We're gonna bet really big here. Because if the UTG guy has a hand that... Well, maybe not that big. If the UTG guy has a hand that wants to call, he will call a big bet. And if he has a hand that wants to fold, he's gonna fold anyways. So he snap calls our big bet. Gonna defend the ace-9 off here for 3x in position. That's a pretty interesting river. He could have queen jack or ace jack. King 10 is kind of unlikely. I'm just gonna bet really big again. Just on the assumption he's not gonna fold hand like ace 5 offsuited. I'm just gonna bet really big. And if he raises, we're probably gonna opt to. Here we're gonna start bluffing. Having a pretty good future blocker. And him capping himself by checking. Gonna 3-bet the ace queen off for value here. Get check raised here. Maybe he wasn't capped by checking, but generally by checking. We get jammed on here, so we lose to at least 2 combos of king 10, king, maybe 16 combos of king 10. Like, if he calls on near pot size bets, he snap called turn. I think it's kind of unlikely that he snap calls turn with every combo of king 10. So he probably has definitely the suited combos. What other hands does he have that beat us? I don't think 7s or deuces snap call the turn. He can easily have ace jack. He could have queen jack. He could have some random bullshit. We're not going to fold top 2. I'm kind of fake tanking here to a degree. Just going through it why I'm not folding. If he has the king 10 of diamonds, nice hand. King 10 of spades. That's pretty sad. I'm not like thrilled once he chops there, honestly. But just not going to fold to a fish there. He can shove worse, he can do weird things. Not sure what odds did we get. I mean, our odds were also quite reasonable. So he shoved like 16 in, right? And they were like 4 plus 6, or like 10 in it. He shoved 16 in, so 16 plus 10. And we needed to call like 12, I think. Not exactly sure, and I can't really have a replay on this side. Is that correct? Wait, I fucked up, right? Yeah. So we got 31%. Yeah, it's not gonna fold. And he instantly leaves the table. Great. That's always kind of frustrating. The ace king. Unfavorable flop, just gonna check without a heart in my hand. Could 1/3, but pretty good texture for the big blind. Lots of calls he can have. We'd had a gut shot, but it's not the best thing. Easy fold if he leads turn. Could easily be dead, and our outs can be tainted to some degree. Isolating pretty big with the ace queen for value. I don't want to get raised off my equity here, so I'm just gonna check call my hand, allowing him to bet a hand like 9-8 of diamonds, for instance. Not gonna fold to half pot, 2 overcuts and a gut shot. Can we maybe turn something decent? That's pretty bad. Some of his hands gain equity. We lose equity versus under the hands, like some of his middling cards just got there. Just gonna check and probably fold. Yeah. Maybe you can check back once in a while. Top 25%. Outs can be tainted, we're out of position, not that happy. Yeah, folding. But if we were the queen of hearts now, does that even mean that I had the best hand on that river? Potentially. But like, even like, if I check on the queen of hearts and he bets, I'm like, I don't know, I'm really unhappy. Oh, I timed out here. Like, pardon me. I was too caught up with the action the ace queen had. Didn't even see that I had something there. I don't know why my sounds on Guts Poker are not working as well. Guess I can get them up. Yeah, don't know why my sounds weren't working. Got them up now. So yeah, the ace queen, just a cooler, I would say. Pretty strong hand to limp call as well. Come on, fellas, I'm not gonna wait for the big blinds. Come on, give me the hand. Okay, sounds are working for me now. I muted it for you, so I guess it's like just for you a distraction. The sounds. Would have had a straight here with the 5-8. Probably won't go through that trouble to type in the 45 anymore, just because with one hand it's too exhausting. Both of ace jack, huh? Don't know why the pot was so big. Both of just ace jack. So yeah, on the other hand, I mean, could jam worse to pairs, could potentially bluff. I mean, if I had like, I mean, I would never, like, let's assume I didn't 3-bet like ace king. I would bet fold ace king now. Let's assume I had ace jack. I would probably bet fold ace jack there as well. So, just to paint a picture that like, I'm not even thrilled to call ace queen there. Oh, I just posted. Yeah, that's great. But now I didn't want to lose out on the action. I will actually get to see a flop, so that's a fine result, seeing a flop in position with like a completely dogshit hand. Actually gonna just probe here for min because he has an extremely wide range, and this is a flop that it's pretty hard to hit with an extremely wide range. Lots of 7-3 offsuited, Jack 3 offsuited in his range. We'll just take it down. Easy money. That was actually quite easy. Queen deuce, just gonna check. Flush draw. And I got short. I'm still gonna just check. Calling the 1/3 or like whatever bet, min bet. Just trying to realize our equity as freely as possible. Pretty good flush on the river. Probably will just lead it for like a big sizing. Just lead $1. They're not gonna fold a diamond. And if someone raises us, it's a grim spot. Generally shouldn't happen on turn. Please don't raise me, just call. Okay. He tanked. Maybe at like 2 pair. Maybe he folded a really weak diamond. I kinda highly doubt it. I'm gonna squeeze the tens here. I'm gonna pussy just flat there. Gonna go ahead and squeeze it. Just gonna think about my sizing. 280 seems appropriate. Pocket sixes. I'm actually gonna set mine given that the weaker player limped and is not likely to limp raise. So this will go 3 ways a lot with a 1 weaker player and 2 weaker players actually involved. So and sometimes it will even go 4 ways. Oh, we get 4-bet on. It's like close to a jam, but having no information. I'm just gonna fold. I'm never gonna just call here. SPR is too small for that, so it's like either a jam or fold, and I'm gonna opt to fold the tens now. Pretty unlucky as a result as well. Okay, we see a 4-way flop with a pretty reasonable set maker, so but we don't hit it. Maybe we get to see a turn. Maybe it doesn't have the ace. Might not need the ace to see it. I always wonder that I always see with ace, what do they always have the ace? I always just see betting queens for no reason. Not sure. Maybe we will find out. Would have turned an amazing gut shot. And he bets 160, which is extremely weird. No clue what he's doing. Buying a cheap showdown? No idea. If he actually has kings, it's like so badly played. We have a river the bottom straight. So what? You have kings and you call that now. Just jacks. And just calls the river. What? You have a straight. You like he's basically checking to you and you're basically checking back a straight there. Like seriously? Like, what are you doing? Gotta tilt 3 with the king jack now. Bottom of range open here after 3-4. That's insane. I mean, this flops a bit into the 3 opponents. Extremely bad. Turn bet again for 1/3. Extremely bad. River. Extremely bad. He just played his hand extremely poor. Like, that was insane. I mean, maybe he didn't know that he had a straight. I don't know. Just gonna range 130 on the flop. Get snap called. Probably not a good sign. Just gonna check back. Try to river pair and hope to be good. I don't know. Generally, he has an ace and we're gonna lose spots. Okay, just gonna give up. He has pocket jacks, reasonably played. But at least we got to realize the equity to the king. I don't know. Yeah, that's fine. Not running too hard. How do you forward and then have a tank? Like, I guess it has to be a fake tank because either you have a pure bluff that forwards, or yeah, it's gonna call off in those positions. Aces. Well, let's get some dice here. I mean, the puts are definitely fine. Like lots of limpers, lots of like pretty bad plays. Well, we just squeezed into 4-betters. How about a 4-bet now? We just folded to a 4-bet. Should give you incentive to 4-bet again, eh? Should at least have a tiny bit of a loose image. Psych. Never a good feeling. If you have tens, you face the 4-bet. If you have the aces, you face the fold. That's poker, folks. King 9 gonna open if it folds to me. Okay, just gonna fold now, waiting for a hand to play. 3 deuce, not gonna be it. Queen 9, potentially. We'll see a flop, but somewhat unlikely. I mean, not a lot happening. Limp and isolate, just gonna fold to Queen 9. Sadly, not a whole lot of happening. Four 6, easy folds. 3 deuce, easy fold. Queen 9, easy folds. Sometimes that's part of it, you know. Sometimes you just fold because you don't get hands, and if you get hands, you face folds, and if you get good post-flop hands, you somehow run into the nuts. Ace 5, hoping not to face a 3-bet. Facing the 3-bet here would be mildly annoying. That's a good result. Can we take another one down? Queen 8, potentially seeing a nope, not in this case. 9-8, gonna overlimp, given the chance. Get called. This is an insanely bad flop for my range, but okay one for my hands. That means I'm not gonna range c-bet. That means I'm gonna check and hope to spike. That's a pretty good turn, all things considered. Gonna bet around 60% of the pot. Definitely a lot of hands that can call me. Definitely a lot of potential bluffs I could have. Okay, just take it on. Better than getting check raised. Queen Jack potentially will see a flop, but only a fold or two. 9-8, pretty easy folds. Nothing going on there. 6-3, gonna be another pretty easy fold. Queen Jack not gonna get too out of line here. Already got out pretty out of line with the King Jack off before. I mean, it's not really that out of line. Even doing Queen Jack off here wouldn't be extremely out of line. Ace Jack off, this hand will get played. Okay. Am I gonna min raise or am I gonna raise to 50? I'm gonna raise to 50. And he's a weaker player, which means I'm gonna bet relatively big and I'm gonna bet 3 streets. Probably. And if he check raises, I'm gonna fold. Probably. Ace 4 gonna be a fold, 3-5 gonna be a fold. Queen 4 gonna be a fold, 5 deuce gonna be a fold. And all of those spots are not close, which should be quite obvious, because those hands are utter garbage. I guess let's just spectate hands that happen right now. Opens, gets 3-bet. Just folds. Here we have a cutoff versus BB spots. Relatively good spot for the opener, but also like a lot of 9x in the range of the BB, of course, but the opener also has a lot of 9x and more overpairs. So generally a fine board for both players involved. He c-bets. Small sizing, seems fine. Now this guy should do a decent bit of check raising, a lot of check calling, and not a whole lot of check folding. And he probably will check fold. Well, he's in a tank. Okay, interesting. Calls. Better turn for the c-bet turn. He fires. Interesting. So once, like, if player 6 has a 9, okay, I doubt player 6 has a 9 here. After snap calling. And here's King Jack, floated to King Jack high. And no idea what other guy had. I'm gonna see what relatively small here with the ace 10. That's an interesting turn. I'm gonna opt to check my hand. It's like just not a hand I can go for 3 streets, and these are fish, so I wanna induce some weird things, and yeah. Just gonna call, and my plan is not to fold this head. That's a relatively safe river, not a lot of 4x in this range. 6-7 miss, 7-9 miss. Potentially some other hands in range because I see we're pretty small. Snap bet's really big. I'm kind of worried I'm running into like pocket 5s here again, but I'm gonna station this down as played. I just like, there are some obvious bluffs for him, and then there can be some other bluffs because I see bet really small. So he definitely can have some high cards as well. And he has a decent incentive to bluff, and I don't think he has a lot of 4x in his range. So, and he's kind of wrapping like pocket 8s, pocket 5s. Maybe still c-betting ace 5, ace 8. I'm not sure. I'm gonna call, find it out. What he has. King. Well, that kind of showcases how wide he floats the flop. That showcases how wide he calls pre-flop. Just gonna call ace king occasionally. Sometimes flopping, sometimes calling. So this generally showcases how wide he is, which kind of means it's gonna be a hard time folding the river. Pretty unlucky that he got there. Pretty bad flop for the ace king of clubs. And this is not a board he should see bet. But he probably will. He doesn't. Okay, I mean, we're not gonna bluff here. Being 3-ways, maybe we would heads up. Not 3-ways though. It's not a gut shot. But like, are we really gonna hit a magical jack on the river? I'm not feeling it. If player 2 checks and player 5 snap checks and player 2 stand checks again, I might just wrap it in on the river. So he's wrapping a jack. Okay. Guess. So what? Now both players have a jack. Not gonna isolate the pocket 5c because I just don't think I'm gonna get enough folds, and I don't want to particularly play this in a bloated pot at the post flop. Pocket 5's not playing that well post flop if you don't flop the set, which we wouldn't have. It's so weird if player 2 doesn't bet now. What is elite like? Okay. I'm gonna bet a decent bit of money that player 2 has jack there. I guess we're gonna call him in bet, try to turn 5. Boom. Nah, not our day. Not our day. Also could potentially have best hand, even though it's, I don't know. Guess we can have the best hand. We saw 2 streets for the min bet, so that's good. And we're just gonna lose here. Not gonna bluff into ranges that definitely consist of a decent bit of 10x's. Okay, so this guy's a 10, this guy's like a random 2 pair that snap calls. Oh, both have a 10. 6-10 offsuit. Solid. Solid limp. Solid flop min bet. Solid everything. As said before, I'm gonna overlimp to queen 5 here, give him a chance. Let's just flop a miracle now. That's not really a miracle. That's a hand that can get us into trouble. We have to be careful. Bad call, I'm gonna fold. King 6 suited is close, versus like, yeah, 3x I'm gonna fold. Queen 4 suited, easy folds. Doing anything else would be pretty spewy. Not the most amazing session, sadly. But I guess we got into some tough spots. And here's the thing. Your aim is not to not get into tough spots. Your aim is to, if you get into tough spots, manage them as good as you can. Your aim is also not to win every pot. Just naturally gonna lose in these mid of pots. Okay, king queen suited. Maybe something happens now. That's decent. Hoping not to face a race. Gotta bet quite big. Given there's a fish involved, given the BB would have a lot of continues. Please don't raise me. Yeah, honestly, if he raises, it's like... That's an awful turn. We have two options now. Bad turn, check back river to charge hands like Jack 10 off with a diamond, 10 9 off with a diamond. Certain other hands like Queen 10 off with a diamond, maybe some Ace Jack highs floats with the Ace of diamonds. Because I don't think he's gonna check raise them enough. Or check back and then potentially call a river or fold to a river lead. I kinda like the bad turn and then check back river line. Get the value and protection now. And then just check back the river. And if he folds, that's a fine result. Like, don't care. Even if he folds like 8 9 of spades here, don't care. That's fine. We basically get min 3-bet here. Not gonna fold a suited, somewhat connected hand to a min 3-bet. Not gonna fold on the flop. With a backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw, and a pair. Okay. Hit that 5. Hit that 5 ball. There are also some other cool turns. We can turn a lot of things here. Just don't give me like a offsuited king or ace. Well, it's not an offsuited ace. Okay, gonna fold. That's like such an annoying hand as well. Nothing we can do there. I'm not gonna fold to the main 3-bet at all. Value 3-betting the ace jack here. If this guy 3-bets, I'm tempted to call 4-bet, but probably won't with the ace jack offsuited. It's getting once again a bit too out of line. My PC is loading. Okay, it's fine. Value 3-bet, let's go. Please don't 4-bet. As long as it doesn't 4-bet, we're fine. We don't mind if he folds. We don't mind if he calls. We prefer fold. When it rains, it pours. I mean, yeah, sure, have it. Nothing going wrong right now. Just nothing going in a good way. Not gonna bluff 5-bet there. Obviously can't call the 4-bet. 3-bet is perfectly standard given positions. Just probably ran into like an unfortunate part of range. Okay, pocket queens, pocket kings, come on. Give me some dice now. Let's get some of it back. And pocket queens. Approximately down 2 binds right now. So we can easily win 2 binds back in those few hands. So this guy, please. Nice, that's a good start. And now just 4-bet me. I mean, when I didn't want to face the 4-bet, I faced it. So give it to me now. And I kind of don't want to face it. Nice. Nice, things are working out. You're gonna go all in, you're gonna go all in. Now we just gotta fade the aces and hold and what else? So, and so. I kinda want this guy to back raise me now, or call, or fold, I don't care. It's a fine result. Here we're gonna go all in for like the 50 big blinds. Here we're gonna go all in. He has kings. And we lose both. Okay. Okay. I'd be blind. Kings versus aces. 50 BB stacker. Small blind versus cutoff. Kings versus queens. Video's at 36 minutes. That's a good point to finish off the first video. But you know, that's just how it happens sometimes. I mean, top 2 versus straight. Few like spots that didn't really work out perfectly. Kings versus aces, queens versus kings, lost both. That's life. Gotta move on. Gotta move on. Okay, gonna call it a day right here. It's also getting somewhat late. And I still gotta take my pain meds for the shoulder. So, hope you enjoyed it and hope to see you back at part 2. Let's actually play out this hand. Let's actually play out this hand. See betting 1/3. Get min raised. We're gonna call. We're gonna generally not look to call a lot. Does he really have a 9? I mean, he can actually have a decent bit of king x. Min bet. That's fine. Just min bet the river again. Just min bet again. Or give me a queen or a jack. Min bet. Nice. I mean, can't complain. Games are definitely fine. Okay, see you at the next part. Cheerio. Peace.